Hi, my friends. This is John Enos. A bunch of my friends have expressed interest in when I read my essays or poems out loud. So I've decided to experiment whenever I release something to record an audio version or video version, as well as releasing the textual version. So this is my report for today. It's an essay entitled Time Travel. Lots to be grateful for in this time of Thanksgiving, peeps. Rain has finally come to the Sierras, and what's better, a nice start to the snowpack. It's a late start, to be sure, but around here we count the blessings we're holding. Had an amazing visit with my dad, a safe cross-country trip, and some precious family time, all in the same week. All the kids were home for a flash-in-the-pan holiday that already feels like a dream. It's only been 9 days of disruption, but my muscles ache to get back to work. My mind craves routine, but routine will not stay put. The new normal is not the old normal, and it's only been a week. Yet, as the speed of change accelerates, so has the capacity to adapt. I floated across West Texas, as if in a warped dimension of space-time. It still took 12 hours to cross, but it was the fastest 12 hours I've ever felt. It flowed by with less boredom than my average trip to LA, which usually takes half the time. Texas shrank to a manageable size. Or rather, something in me expanded to better accommodate the immoderate sprawl of my native state. Maybe it was the fact that I listened to 30 hours of the Lord of the Rings audiobook across the long desert Southwest, including all the songs that everybody skips when they read it. Perhaps this lent to the experience the effect of a quest. The land rolled forward, logically, from the flat floodplains to the rolling hills, from the rising plateau country to the high desert panhandle that's really just southern New Mexico. It's a land that I have never been able to suffer until now. Perhaps it's because it's a land that separates the hard-bitten from the soft. This time, it all made sense to me. The land of my birth, from which I ran in favor of the far western mountains and crashing Pacific waves, felt solid under my feet and familiar to my heart in a way I'd not experienced before. The land held the memory of a long narrative, which I realized I had read. It took me just shy of 40 years to mature enough to see something that was sitting there the whole time. I got a hint of this last spring, on my last visit with my mother. Now, on a visit with my father, it is the same. The egrets in the ditches are still there, even though an entire city has sprung up around my old family home since I left after high school. The house sits in a pocket of timelessness, for better and for worse. Somehow, I have plugged back into that current from 1982. It feels like I'm graduating all over again, driving out west to start college, focused intensely on a season of learning new skills and starting a new, exciting, frightening phase of, dreamt of, adult life. Only now, I'm entering the unknowns of late adulthood rather than the unknowns of young adulthood. Who knew there was a difference, wrapped up in a similarity? I've woken up to see that 30 years have gone by. All of this is familiar, all of it new. I've been watching this dense German time travel show on Netflix called Dark. Watching the show is like doing a jigsaw puzzle. It has fractured my thinking. I have the weird sensation of living in my own time travel narrative. I'm watching my teenage self, my child self, my 30s self, my 80s self, all of my selves, all saying goodbye in different contexts and driving cross-country to start new phases of life. Every time saying goodbye in completely different ways. Every time driving across different countries into futures of equally uncertain ends. None of this is a linear process, but a spiral. I go round and round again, repeating karmic themes. It's as if time and space are stacked in a way such that every Wednesday is Wednesday. Every solstice is the solstice. Every leaving home is leaving home. Plugging into that, I get a jolt, like leveling up in a video game, earning experience points. Maybe that's too metaphysical for you. So here's some more practical advice I saw on the wall of a bathroom stall in a Texaco station outside of El Paso. Cut yourself some slack, somebody had scrawled. Good advice. Below this, somebody had appended, cut other people some slack. Also, good advice. Who said there was nothing to learn in El Paso? This dialogue between people taking shits across the miles, across the years, had inspired a series of additions over time. The result was a graffiti wall full of smelly wisdoms, some funny, some profane. I wanted profound, but I was okay with funny. One jumped out at me. Don't believe everything you think. I laughed. If I'd had something to scratch with, I might have added, Red Bull is for road trips. So much for bathroom walls. Last spring, walking east, it was egrets, white, and herons, blue. This fall, driving west, there were falcons. They were young, rangy, well-fed and wild. I saw a whole clutch of them, 5 near-adult juveniles, sparring aggressively around the top of a live oak. They wheeled and jarred, looking all the world like newly hatched dragons of Westeros taking to the sky. It looked like an omen. What it means, I do not yet know. Now the energy shifts with the sun in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Capricorn. 2020 arrives early this year. The conjunctions are coming. Winter is here. Lots to be thankful for, peeps. Hold your loved ones dear. December 1st, 2019. Ciao.